cute. I love it. I love it.
Hi, I'm Chris Fenimore.
And I'm Nancy Polinsky, returning.
Returning. You know, everybody around the station has been calling this the revenge of the zucchini. That's not, it's not. It's the return of the zucchini. 20 years after we did the very first QED Cooking Marathon, which was an hour-and-a-half program in those days.
Was it an hour and a half?
It was just an hour and a half. We did not record it. Mark Smuckler was the station manager, and you know, names of people who are not at the station anymore. But we're still here, and you're still here.
And we're not a day older.
No, well, and you know, after 20 years, it's just amazing to me that we've been able to perpetuate this thing called QED Cooks, and it's based on your recipes that are sent in. Thousands and thousands of you have sent in recipes over the years. Every one of our cookbooks has over 100 recipes in it. We've done over 100 cookbooks. You do the math, as Elsie Henderson always says to me. And so I want to also take this time to thank everybody who's been part of all of this. It's been so gratifying and so much fun for us, but also it's been very important to the station as a part of our way of reaching out to you and for you to reach back to us. One of our mottos for the show is we do it for you, but we can't do it without you. And that has never been truer than with these cooking programs that rely on you and our community to give us the recipes, to come on the show, and to be part of this thing called public television, a real way to participate.
I like to remind people that even before there were entire networks devoted to cooking, long before there was interactive television, we were interactive television, bringing you cooking shows week after week after week.
Right.
So we had our finger on the pulse of what you guys wanted.
Exactly. So thank you. We want to keep doing this.
Yep.
So we hope that you'll take this advantage of this and get your 20th anniversary cookbook. And these are all new zucchini recipes. We did not bring back any from the old cooking show. We figured you might already have. Yeah, that's the cooking book right there.
Here's the cookbook.
There's the new one.
It's fabulous. Return of the zucchini with this great graphic on the front. And yes, we will be telling you throughout the time ahead how you can get this cookbook with all of the great recipes. And you're actually going to start making a recipe now with a lovely guest who's standing off camera. So I'm going to say hello and then goodbye.
All right, this is this is Dr. Paulette Sedlak.
Hi.
And
hello.
Hello.
Good to have you in the kitchen.
Well, thank you. It's so great to be here to celebrate 20 years.
I know.
It all started with the zucchini.
It did.
Happy cooking.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Nancy.
So Dr. Sedlak, you sent in a recipe that I just found fascinating because, first of all, because it was dead simple.
Yes.
And secondly, because so many people have dietary concerns and now that somehow 20 years ago we didn't run into. I don't know what has happened, but there are different allergens and different kinds of nutritional needs and whatnot. Yes. And this recipe is so malleable. You can actually transform it to accommodate some of those things.
Yes.
So tell us about the recipe.
Okay, well, a neighbor gave me this recipe many, many years ago, and I do a lot of what's called recipe makeovers, where I try to health it up. And that means that when you're doing a makeover, you actually take out the ingredients that aren't healthy and put in healthy ingredients.
Okay.
And then usually it comes out actually tasting better, about half the calories. So I always say you get about half the calories and twice the health benefits.
There you go.
So that's what we're going to make today. So if you like, we'll go ahead and
let's
start.
Do it.
So as Chris said, this is very, very easy to make, and you're going to start out with about 3 cups of zucchini. There's only a few ingredients in here. And I love this recipe. It reminds me of when I was growing up. My mom and dad always had a garden, and you know, in the morning they would pick zucchini, and it would sit out on the counter. And then after dinner, I'd see this zucchini was gone, but I didn't remember eating the zucchini. And my mom was pretty tricky about this, so. That I really kind of, learned how to do recipe makeovers from her, and this is just a very good example where you can hide zucchini in pie, in dessert, and certainly, in so many things. It's probably one of the most versatile of all vegetables, and so I was just thrilled, when I submitted the recipe. So what we're going to do is we're just going to throw everything in a blender, a food processor. You're going to have 3 cups of zucchini, and we're going to add.
We need a little more zucchini, I think.
Oh yes, probably a little bit more zucchini to make our 3 cups. Now you can do this in a deep dish, 1 deep dish, or you can do 2 pie crust. If you're doing, you know,
Like an 8 or 9 inch pie crust.
yes,
You can make 2
yes,
of them.
something smaller.
One for you and one for a neighbor.
There you
know?
go. Or 2 for you and make another later. And something that I really love about this recipe is, Chris said, it's really malleable. You have options. And I'm going to show you a couple things you can do to make the options. So we'll get our zucchini in the blender.
You're almost there.
Oh,
It's got
you're
the cup measure.
you're
It's got the
watching.
cup measure. Okay, we're good there.
You're good.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we're going to toss in the vanilla. Super simple. Everything just goes right into the blender.
And that is.
This is cornstarch, a couple tablespoons.
So the
tablespoons of
cornstarch helps
cornstarch.
it to.
It actually helps it so it doesn't, it's when the recipe's done, it's not watery. It brings it together. And this is going to taste like a smooth, creamy custard.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So I'm going to tell you, when you eat this, you're going to feel like you're cheating if you're on a diet, if you're watching your waistline, but it only feels like you're cheating.
Mm-hmm.
It really is very good for you.
Let me go back for a second, because you did peel the zucchini.
Yes.
Is that? I mean, I would imagine that helps it be a little smoother.
Well, you know, you can do it and not peel the zucchini, but you're going to have the little green flecks in there, and that's okay. Maybe if you're doing it for your family, but I always like to bring this to social gatherings, and everybody loves it.
And then you surprise them.
And that's the fun part. So if you want to have a lot of fun with this recipe, give it to people. Everybody says, "Oh, this is so good. What is it?" And then you say it's zucchini, and they're like, "No way! No way is that zucchini."
Well, it struck me when I saw the recipe that this is the kind of thing that when you bring it to some event,
yes,
you better bring a bunch of little cards made out with the recipe. Yes. Because there are some recipes that people eat and then they've had it, that's enough, you know.
Yes.
But other times they really want to have it, and I think this is one of those.
It is. Everybody who has had this recipe wants, they want it. They want this recipe. And then lastly, we're going to put sugar in, about 3/4 cup of sugar. Now you can use honey, and so there's a couple things, like I said, options you have. If you make this with honey, you do need to bake it probably an extra 20 to 30 minutes. It just takes a little bit longer. And you know how you just check things with a fork, just make sure it's done.
Yeah.
And our last ingredient, our main ingredient, is we're going to put in 3 cups of almond milk. I think we used almond milk for this. And it's making its way down. But so as we're waiting for that, you can use almond milk or you can use coconut milk. And if you do coconut milk while it's baking in the last 10 to 15 minutes, you can sprinkle some coconut on, and then it kind of crisps up, and then it's like a
coconut custard pie.
It's coconut custard
Oh my
pie.
gosh.
So if you do it this way, we always put a little cinnamon on top. And I made this a couple weeks ago for some friends, and they kept saying, this smells so good, people should smell it. People need to smell this. So we'll get it going there.
I just wanted to get it stirred a little bit.
Yes.
So there's no other flavoring in this. That's it.
There's
just
nothing.
Okay.
That's it. And the cornstarch, as we said, kind of holds it together. And you want to blend it really, really well so there's no large pieces or chunks. And that's what's going to give it the rich, smooth, creamy, like a custard. Now, if you're pressed for time or you don't have a pie crust, you can make this without any crust.
Without no crust. Okay.
Without
Just
any
like
crust.
a custard.
Yes, yes, and I've done that in like little ramekins, or in a, I've done it in a pie pan. I've done it in a glass Pyrex, so you can do different things.
The other thing you were talking about was that, and again, this goes to the different dietary variations. So many people are talking about gluten-free.
Yes.
They need to have gluten-free, and
Yes.
it's so hard, especially for desserts,
Yes.
to find gluten-free. But you said that they have gluten-free pie crusts.
Yes, you can either make a gluten-free pie crust, or you can buy it in a box. That's usually what I do. And so it's just a mix, and you just add in a little bit of butter, and you're shortening, follow the directions on there, and you have your gluten-free pie crust, and it's really delicious. No one knows that it's gluten-free, so that's one of the things I teach people on Cooking with Doc, is how you can go gluten-free lifestyle, all the things you can do to really kind of have your pie and eat it too, have your cake and eat it too. So this is just super great. And so we'll probably go ahead and pour this in here. And there's a couple really neat facts about zucchini and making this pie. A lot of people eat a banana every day for potassium, but zucchini is higher in potassium than bananas. And
I didn't know that.
yeah, so a cup of zucchini has more potassium than a cup of bananas. And potassium is so important to regulate your blood pressure. It's good for your heart. And if you're under a lot of stress, you actually deplete your potassium. So it's actually, it's like a health pie, but don't tell anybody that because, you know, it just tastes delicious and smooth. And
well, you know, I eat bananas all the time because I get cramps in my legs.
Oh,
you know, and the doctor said, well, you know, if you get some potassium as a regular part of your diet, and it really helps.
Yes.
But I actually like zucchini better than bananas.
Well, there you go. You can have zucchini pie. You know, another really cool thing about this is a third of the pie, and you can see how big this pie is, a third of this is less than 200 calories.
Wow.
And a fruit pie, about the same size, about a third cut of a pie is around 400 calories. So you can really eat a lot of the zucchini pie. It's very low calories. And you can see you have to just gingerly put that, you know, in the oven.
So you put this in the oven. You would have blind baked that crust a little bit before actually we filled it.
Yes.
And then you bake it, and I have the finished one here.
Yes.
It's the magic of television.
Magical.
But the thing is that as it was, just as soon as it came out of the oven, I sprinkled it, as your recipe calls for, with some cinnamon, just to give a little extra
that's
flavor.
the perfect way to do it, because when you put the cinnamon on when it's hot, and then you, the aromas come through, and the cinnamon kind of bakes through, you know, as it's cooling down on the pie. So, ready?
I'm ready for a piece of pie. Are you kidding?
Okay.
I was born ready for pie.
You know,
I hope it holds up. You know,
Yes.
sometimes when we make some of these dishes ahead of time for our cooks, we're not as good at it as they are, and so
we're going to do our best to make a nice piece to come out here. We'll get a little plate going here.
oh yeah, that holds together.
It's trying. It's trying. Almost.
No, but I mean, it doesn't
It does.
flop over or anything.
Yes. Yes. Okay.
I think you need a piece too.
Yeah. Oh, yes, absolutely. Yes. Looks
And
good.
you know, if a piece of pie happens to break a little bit, that's not bad.
That's not a bad thing.
But your
That's
piece
not a
looks
bad
like
thing.
out of Better Homes and Gardens.
Aw.
I'm going to have a taste of this, though.
Okay, let's have a taste.
I got to tell you, that is one delicious piece of pie.
Thank you.
It's
wonderful.
It's cool and creamy.
Yes, it's very creamy, and you'd never know that. I mean, it's just so good for you, but it's
I have
delicious.
never
It's
cooked with
delicious.
almond milk before either. What a great combination of flavors. The almond is all the flavoring you need in here.
Yes.
Dr. Sedlak, that is a terrific recipe.
Thank you. Thank you
great
so
tips,
much.
great information, and just one of the recipes in our brand new Return of the Zucchini
Zucchini.
Cookbook.